So this is a reaction video about the 2016 election that is pretty much coming to a close. Currently it's 1:22 a.m. here in Iowa, and I'm at college. And so I just want to make a video about the election and my thoughts about the election, also about the future. So first off, looks like Donald Trump will be our next president, and looks like the Republicans will have control of both the House and the Senate. So far. That being said, it's going to be probably an interesting 4 years coming ahead. Now, I don't want to offend anyone's point of views or anything. I don't want to bash anyone. I just want to simply state what my thoughts are about this and about the future. And also just how this whole election process went. So first off, this entire election process was basically a beatdown between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and seeing who can outslug the other person, which really honestly doesn't embody American politics at all. I mean, American politics should be about running for the people and what you could do with the people, with doing things how the people want things to be done. I mean, that's the whole point of having a government and having the president, is that it's for the people, by the people. But in this instance, it seems like it's between two very powerful forces. One is, backed by himself, and the other is backed by a lot of corporate people. I mean, so it's, in the end, it's a lot of corporate power on either side. But it's not for, a lot of the lower class and middle class Americans that exist and are the majority of the population. So it's very difficult, to understand why this is happening. Because America was founded on principles of unity and everything. And this election completely feels like we're just tearing the United States of America apart and just ripping it to shreds and saying, all right, you take this half and I'll take this half, and these are my beliefs and these are your beliefs, and we can't get along. We can't compromise. That's another huge thing about the whole politics thing. I mean, I'm not very well versed in politics at all. I know a little bit here and there from friends and from situations and from different things that I read online. But to me, politics should be more about compromising. In the last 4 years of Obama's last term, there was hardly any compromise because, there was so much, because he's a Democrat, therefore we can't do things. Right? Because this, that, or the other thing, we can't do anything because we want our agenda and only our agenda. And that's basically the same vibe that I'm getting, from Donald Trump and from Clinton. They're both very stubborn personalities who are looking to get what they want and only go for those agendas. Especially I feel like with Donald Trump, because he will have the backing of the House and the Senate, so that will make things, easier for him to pass for his agenda, and that'll repeal all the stuff that Obama did. Whether that's good or bad, I mean, that's up to everyone's interpretation. But I feel like we'll just be taking a lot of steps back. We did make a lot of improvement in the past 8 years of Obama's presidency, and whether we like it or not, I mean, you can argue different things, and but this thing's worse and this thing's better, and fines and everything about Medicare and all that. But honestly, I think for the majority of the country, we are better. We are better off. Wages are better. I just feel like the country has been better. It gives off such a more vibrant feel. But now, with this entire election process, we're just clashing. Whether it's about race, religion, ethnicity, I mean, it's just, we're clashing all the time. And it's really sad, from a very typically neutral perspective, to see everyone clashing and fighting about issues that really shouldn't be issues, especially when we've hopefully moved on so far from what things have been. I mean, back when race was a huge issue, it feels like it's a huge issue again, just in different ways, in a more modern perspective. And that shouldn't be, honestly, to me, because we should move on. I mean, people are people. Yes, we're different skin colors, and we believe in different religions and things. We come from different parts of the world. That doesn't make us inherently evil or and some type of person that we should inherently fear. We're people all the same. We should accept each other and try to understand and find out more about each other and compromise. Compromise. I mean, wow, that's a novel idea. I mean, we can actually compromise and try to work something out together instead of always, pushing, and pushing. So that's about the election process. Now, on to my third second or third point. Tonight's outcome. So, honestly, I think so far, based on what has been said by Donald Trump previous, and what has also been said by Clinton previously, this can potentially be a very, very so I've read a few articles and things, and obviously seen the posts on social media and everything, and it seems to be that a lot of the people I know tend to think that it's going to be a dark few years coming up. Now, that could be a possibility. It could also be beneficial. We don't know. But I do think ethnicities and races. And honestly, as someone who is going to be possibly the president of a country that is made by immigrants and made for immigrants and made by and now is inhabited by the children of immigrants, and he is, probably a child of an immigrant at some point, to call some immigrants out or some races and ethnicities and religions out is completely preposterous. I mean, we were a safe haven for religions, for certain ethnicities that were being persecuted. It completely boggles my mind that this is even a factor now. I mean, we struggled with this before with, I'm of Irish descent. I mean, the Irish were hated. We were slandered. I mean, African American people had their time. I mean, heck, even white people had their time when they were Native Americans. But we're taking so many steps back, and it's preposterous because we should be moving forward together as a country, trying to find the good, in people and what we can do to achieve more as a country, not fighting against each other in our own country. So I guess for the future, I just hope that Congress and also the presidency, whoever becomes president, again, most likely Donald Trump at this point, but also just the country as a whole, that we compromise and that we work things out so we can try to achieve something that's greater than just an individual belief or an individual agenda set by whether it's an individual group or person, but focus more on what we, the people, can do more as a whole. Because I think that's where a lot of beauty can come from, especially because we are the United States of America. And we have shown to have a lot of resilience and also a lot of might when we unite. Yes, that rhymed. But I just think that we can do a lot better than how we're seeming right now. Because right now we're against each other. And I'm really hoping that nothing terrible or bad happens in the coming days and weeks, or even tonight, this morning, from where I'm at. But I want a bright future that we can all work together towards. And, as said on a few different articles and videos, if we want something, we can't just lay back and say, oh, well, the president can handle it, or, the House and Senate can handle it. If we want something, we have to go and fight for it. Because the whole point of our legislation system or legislative system is for us to use our voices. And if we get enough people to try to make a decision, hopefully, praying that our legislative system still works the way it used to, without all the extra influences, that we will be able to get things done. So, I guess closing thought is, keep Thank you. Goodbye.